Exercise doesn't help weight loss?
No. The reason exercise doesn't work is because
Professor Tim Spector.
He's an award-winning scientist,
Best-selling author and medical professor.
And he is ranked in the top 100 of the world's most cited scientists.
we talk about the future of personalized nutrition.
Many consider you to be the leading expert on gut health and diet. What's your view on the ketogenic diet?
Virtually impossible.
What about vitamins?
Waste of money.
What are the facts around fasting?
Oh dear.
Oh shit, what do you mean, oh dear?
The food industry wants you to focus on the calorie, fat content, sugar, so you don't have to think about the quality of the food. There's never been any long-term study showing that calorie counting is an effective way to lose weight and maintain weight loss. This is why I want people to think about food very differently than we have done in the past.
So what is the cost?
Depression and anxiety is intricately linked to the quality of your gut microbes. These are microscopic bugs in our intestines. All of them are able to pump out chemicals that are vital for our body when they're fed the right foods. The reason we're in this state is we've killed off a lot of our good bugs. I think people don't think of all the positive benefits. They don't think that you need to build them up.
God, it's so confusing. You know, when you walk down the aisle in the supermarket, everything is trying to pretend that it's good. So how do I know what is good?
You have to
Tim, many consider you to be the leading expert on topics relating to gut health and diet and food, etc. But how would you describe your own professional academic bio? What is that bio in your own words?
It's complicated. So I've changed form over the years quite a lot, and I'm quite unusual in terms of academic medics who usually stick very strictly to one speciality all their career and fear to go anywhere else. So I was at medical school, did the usual stuff, then wanted to be a physician, then did rheumatology.
What's rheumatology?
And bones and joints.
Okay.
So that was my subspecialty, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But I got interested in epidemiology, which is the study of risk factors in populations, where you just look at thousands of people rather than one patient. Really, I switched again to study because I got really interested in the idea that identical twins should be the same. They're clones, they lived all their life together, all their genes are identical. What makes them different? Counter to what everyone thought, identical twins often die at different times. They get different diseases. One gets depression, one's fine. It's all these differences. So that was my sort of conundrum. What makes identical twins different when they have they've lived the same lives? It was only through this sort of search to find this out that I looked at the gut microbes in twins and found they were different. And that really scientifically took me onto this whole new path. From there, I made this sort of leap into nutrition to say, well, now we've discovered this whole new science, all this stuff we got wrong about nutrition suddenly makes sense. So now I would say I'm an epidemiologist who's really specializing in nutrition and gut health and trying to change the way people think about food.
What is the microbiome?
It's the word we use for the community of gut microbes. These are microscopic bugs in our intestines. And it's a biome because it's like this jungle community. It's lots of different species all together, thousands of them that coexist in our lower intestine, our colon. And it's like we've discovered in the last 10 years a new organ in our bodies. If you put them all together, they weigh about the same as our brain. Okay, so that's mind-boggling, really, to think about all these bugs, which individually are tiny. Putting them together, they actually they weigh several pounds. So you can either think of them as a microbial garden, but increasingly I'm shifting that towards thinking of them as an incredible pharmacy. So all of them are able to pump out chemicals all the time that are vital for our body So thousands of different chemicals are pumped out every minute by these gut microbes when they're fed the right foods. And these chemicals are key for our immune system. Most of our immune system is actually in our gut. Most people don't know that. We think it's, under our armpits or somewhere, but actually all the immune cells are actually talking all the time to our gut microbes through these chemicals. And that our immune system obviously is crucial for our whole body and fighting aging and cancer, COVID infections, allergies, all these kind of things. So then you've also got the microbes can produce chemicals that affect the brain and will make the difference between you being happy or sad, or we know that they're vital in depression. Important for regulating how much you eat, your appetite, when you feel full. They also provide key vitamins for you, all the B vitamins and many other components, neurochemicals like serotonin, that's key for the happiness, and how antidepressants work, are all produced by your gut microbes. So we're slowly learning that these guys are absolutely crucial to how our body responds to anything coming into it, whether it's painkillers, whether it's antidepressants, whether it's chemicals in the form of food. And this is why I want people to think about food very differently than we have done in the past. The old idea that food is just calories, macros, with its fats and carbs and proteins. Those four things, that's 100 years old mentality. But key to it is this core of our gut health, which we've ignored totally. And this was this big aha moment for me after research for 10 years. Why would identical twins be different? What could it be? And it turns out their gut microbes are different. That's the only thing I've ever found in 30 years that's really different about identical twins. And that explains why one gets cancer, the other one doesn't, why one gets an autoimmune disease, or one's depressed and one's happy. So for me, that the twins were a perfect, obvious way to show that how important these microbes are for all of us.